Good afternoon, and there's plenty of room down front if you want to get closer. I'm Mary Burkhardt, and I think I know all of you here in the audience, but I am really lucky, I feel, to introduce the Village Friends program today on Wisdom Wednesday. Village Friends is an organization with ties to Ollie since the beginning. This program grew out of, this organization grew out of an Ollie class that an Ollie member offered about living independently. There was enough interest that there was a brown bag with lots of interest, and now there's an organization that functions. And I would like to introduce our speakers who are coming up. Martha Shepard is the current president of Village Friends. Martha and her husband Greg have lived in Auburn and Opelika since 1975. She's a graduate of UAB and earned an AA teaching certificate from Auburn in 1978. She's worked as an educator and a counselor for 31 years and a realtor now for 16 years. She joined the Village Friends Board in 2017, and before you know it, she got elected with arm twisting and great enthusiasm to be the president. Michael Traylor, I know your name, can't talk, is someone I feel really fortunate to have met through Village Friends. She and her husband are both Auburn University graduates. Her husband of 40 years. And you and Greg have been married a long time, too.
About that long, yeah.
They're both Auburn grads and decided, like a lot of other smart people, to move back to Auburn when they retired. Her career background is interior design, plus she got special training in aging in place so that people could continue to live in their homes independently as we get a little less able to get things done. Her background also includes leadership in the nonprofit world, so the mission of Village Friends is a perfect fit for her retirement activities. I think that's great that she was interested in being in Village Friends, and I'm glad you're all here. So I will now, you know who Martha is, and she'll take over.
Thank you, Mary.
See, I need to.
Did I catch you just?
Yes, you
oh,
did,
sweet,
just
I'm
right. I
sorry.
hope I didn't bruise you.
No, you're
See, that's why we have to have friends who help us.
Watch that last step. Oh, goodness. I appreciate all of y'all being here today. I know the weather out there is absolutely beautiful, and you'd probably rather be digging in the dirt. Maybe not, but I do thank you all for coming this afternoon. I am Martha Shepard, and I joined the board in, I guess, 2017, and then became president last year. Oh, and we're so fortunate to have our past president, Judy McGaha, coming in, and I'm so glad to see her. Judy was president before myself. So what I wanted to do was talk a little bit about the village model, how it works. It is a national phenomenon that is sweeping across the country. It began in Beacon Hill, in the Boston area, the pretty little brownstones. Those sweet little old ladies weren't going anywhere. They were going to stay in those brownstones and continue with what they loved, going to plays, seeing the Boston Symphony. They weren't giving any of that up to go to an assisted living. So the concept came from the Beacon Hill model. Now there are close to 350 villages across the United States. We were the first village in Alabama, and right now, even today, we are only one of maybe two others I'm sure of. Maybe one is incubating. There's one in Monsanto up near Huntsville. But we were the first village in Alabama. So we're going to learn several things today. We're going to learn what is aging in place. We're going to learn what is a village. And we're going to also learn about who we are and what is our mission. Well, there it is right there. Village Friends utilizes the skills and services of volunteers to assist seniors in need of a support system to maintain their independent lifestyle in the Auburn Opelika community. And that's an awful lot of words, and it's an awful lot to explain how we accomplish this. As you can see from the photographs, sorry. Trying to do my little pointer. Oh, goodness, okay. Right there, we actually take volunteers take our members so that they can volunteer. He had trouble with the car, and we took him so that he could continue to volunteer at the community market. You probably know some of these pretty faces on some of our photographs. We were attending a program that we had conducted at the Auburn Chamber. Down here at the bottom, you know it's always good to go to Kroger on Wednesday. And then you probably know this pretty lady too. We help her get to her OLLI classes so that she can teach. Let's look at some numbers about our aging population to give you a better idea. This is pretty telling to me about what we call the silver tsunami, and all of us in here are part of that tidal wave that is coming. If you look at between 1900 and 1960, there were about 26 million people who were above the age of 65. 1980 to 2010, 40 million. Now, this is when the baby boomers start to hit 65 in the year 2011. That was the first year that the baby boomers turned 65, those who were born in 1946. As you can see, the growth, it has doubled since 2000 to, it will double by the year 2030. And you know, I used to think 2020 was so far out in the future. My Lord, it's less than a year away. So now, right now in 2020, 54 million, and in 10 more years, there will be 70 million. You know, you've got to ask yourself, what will the impact of this population, this 65 plus population explosion be on our lifestyle, on our housing needs, on our medical needs? What is that going to do? The impact is that until 2029, 2030, 10,000 people will turn 65 on a daily basis. Now just think about that for a minute. That is an awful lot of people. The population explosion of 65 plus is going to put so much pressure on housing, on medical treatment, other care, other services. So what are your options? Well, you could look at assisted living. You could look at a nursing home to get these services met. But what about aging in place? Aging in place means you're just going to stay in your home as long as you can, as long as it's safe, and as long as you can get the services you need provided to you in a reasonable way. Your life is there in your home. You are surrounded by a collection of treasures that you collected from trips you took when you were younger. They're the family portraits. There's just, your home is just, it's who you are. Now, there are also other advantages of staying in your home. First of all, you don't have to be on a schedule if you stay in your home. If you go to an assisted living, you have to eat breakfast between a certain hour and a certain hour, lunch, dinner. But if you stay in your own home, you don't have a schedule. Second point right there is there are not enough facilities that are going to be available. They just can't build those facilities fast enough to accommodate all of us. So with that in mind, you're going to want to stay in your own home. The cost of going to maybe an independent living or a nice upscale assisted living could be $4,000 to $6,000 a month. So you can see right there, that's going to cut into your retirement and your IRA pretty fast, really fast. Okay, so if we decide to stay in our home and we're going to save all this money, who is going to help me when I can no longer drive, when I lose some of my independence? Well, a village is going to help you. The Village Network, that little logo over there, is a nonprofit who serves as a resource for other villages. Those folks were so instrumental when Joanna Hoyt was getting us started with becoming a village. The resources are incredible. You can go to that website and learn all about aging in place and resources and other good things that you might need to know about. There is a video that we're going to look at now from the Greenwich Village, and we'll go ahead and roll that now. Olivia, look at this.
The older I get, the older old becomes.
You don't feel inside what you are on the outside.
I don't think that I'm old. I think most older people don't think of themselves as old.
It's a program that helps seniors stay in their home as they age.
What I want most out of my life is to remain independent and to remain at home.
To me, home is my sanctuary, my place of safety, my place where I can be who I am.
I've lived in this house for 57 years, and to be there is almost to have my husband's arms wrapped around me. And now I'm so thankful that I stayed there, and I want to stay there as long as I can. And so I think that at home in Greenwich is really going to help me with that.
Being at home is important because it's familiar, because we know where everything is more or less, and we know all our neighbors, and our sons live nearby. So we just can't imagine living anywhere else.
I have a dog. That's one reason I have to have a home.
At Home in Greenwich is a membership organization.
I think people would be surprised to hear that the membership age ranges from 47 to 99.
They're modest dues. What you get is access to activities that you might not have.
We've been members of At Home for 10 years, and the trips that they made to museums we had never been to, things that we otherwise wouldn't have known about, At Home connected us to them. And that provided a good part of our settling into Greenwich.
Oh, this group loves to have fun.
That's part of social and emotional support, is having fun together.
Sometimes it's difficult to talk to your children. It might be difficult to talk to other people who are younger. But people your own age you feel relaxed with and you feel that you can be honest with.
You can get home care, you can get house cleaning, you can get house painting, you can get plumbing, and all these people have been vetted.
I've had very good recommendations, and it's been very important to me.
You never know when you get older, you know, you might be in good health one day and the next day something, you know, unforeseen happens.
I just know they're there. They're there to help me if I need their help.
It's like a safety net to know that I can always call if there's an emergency.
After I fractured my ankle and I couldn't drive because it was my right ankle for, what, 3 months. I was relying on helpful volunteers from at home in Greenwich who were wonderful, who drove me to physical therapy and things like that.
I can get a ride anytime, practically anywhere, I'm sure.
I was one of the founding members of At Home in Greenwich, and it's now had its 10th anniversary, and it's going strong.
At Home in Greenwich really has everything in place. It's all there for me.
The friendships I've made in this group are really just to be cherished. And I hope I go on doing it for a long time.
At Home in Greenwich is most definitely worth a membership. Everyone should do it. Everyone should join.
And that was a great video. One day, Village Friends will have one like that too. All right, Olivia, can we go to the next one? Okay, what is a village? Well, that was a great video telling you all about what a village is. It is a local nonprofit. Local meaning it is a grassroots organization, and it is run by dedicated volunteers and board members. But the services, the magic is done by dedicated volunteers. Without them, the whole concept does not work. There are probably closer to 350 active villages across the United States now. Village Friends was founded, and there's a third one under development, was the first one. Look at the fee to be a member, $240 for a year, that's $20 a month, for a single, and $360 for a couple. I can't imagine a better bargain. I don't know if you've taken a taxi yesterday, anytime lately, but taxis, it would probably be $20 to pick you up and take you to the library and then bring you back home. So that would be one trip. Right now, we do not have a limit on the number of services we'll provide during a week because people's lives change, and there may be a week where you need more services done for you than another. So right now, we've not had to set a policy as to how many trips that would entitle you to. But we're more than just a taxi. We're more than just Uber. We're like a concierge service. This is a map of the villages across the United States. And again, if you'll go on the V2V network, you can hover over each one of those little bubbles. You can see that organization's webpage. You can learn about them and know, what they're doing and how they're running their operations. So if you choose to age in place, you've got to have assistance. So aging in place with a village means a one-call stop shopping. I'll be the first to acknowledge that we aren't everything to everybody. However, our subscribers will tell you that we have been such an asset to them. It enables them to stay in their home and maintain their quality of life. Our subscribers are some of the cutest, sharpest, most fun folks. I learn something from them every time I do a service for them. 60 or older are eligible to become a member. You've got to be ambulatory. We do not have any handicap vehicles, so if you have on a rollator or a cane, we can certainly accommodate that. I folded up many of those and put them in my back seat. Approximately 75 members. Right now, we have about 50 who are receiving our services and close to 50 volunteers, maybe 45. It's a delicate balance to make sure that you have enough volunteers to accommodate the needs of our subscribers. Occasionally, we have had to stop enrolling subscribers until we could find some more volunteers to help with the services. Our subscribers have led some of the most exciting lives. It's just amazing what they have done, and I love to hear them tell about their life. So with that, who is Village Friends? Well, again, you may recognize the folks in this photograph. There's Mary Burkhart back in 2012, I guess. Is that right, Mary? 2012 and 13, these were the board members. You notice there's Fern Garrett, who was the assistant superintendent, and then acting superintendent one year, I believe, Jim Warman, and there's Joanna Hoyt. Joanna was the founder. It was her vision that started Village Friends. We have 3 new board members. I'm so proud of our new board members that came on last year. Michael is one of them. Bob Kreibel in the back is one of our new board members. And Lauren Wolf, who worked at the School of That Med forever, is also one of our board members. It is a working board. It is a hard working board. Here's our new photograph that was taken back in January, I believe, at our new office space that East Alabama has given us at Oak Park. Up until then, we had one little bedroom inside an apartment, but they saw that we were for real and we weren't going anywhere, so they let us have the entire unit. So we have 2 bedrooms and a front room and a kitchen. So we're just very excited about our new office space. Now this is what all of these dedicated board members do: help build age-friendly communities and improve range of locally available services, promote the emotional and social well-being, and work with local government officials, community agencies, and businesses to increase awareness of senior needs. Here's some photographs of some types of services that we do. Of course, medical is the very first need that our subscribers have. Dermatology checkups. It's not just like when you're sick, but those 6-month checkups that roll around. It could be a dermatology visit, go get some blood work done. We take folks to get chemo, just all kinds of things that we can provide. And of course, the mani and the pedi, those are all very important too. That's about as important as a beauty shop appointment. We also offer programs and workshops. We have done yard work. Now, we're not a yard work service. However, we have cleared off patios. We have planted pansies in the early winter and just all kinds of things. Beauty shop, like I said, that's a beauty shop appointment right there. Friendly visits, eye care, eye specialists. Technology support is a big part of what we do, and minor home repairs. I'm just going to call Bob Kreibel out on this. I don't know if y'all know, he's a physicist, but he is the best plumber you could imagine. He can change a washer better than my husband. So hats off to Bob. That was great. We also have an engineer on our board who's just incredible with technology stuff. I don't know what we would do without all of our board members and volunteers. So this is how the magic happens. This right here is how it works. Bonnie Wilson is our new services coordinator. A member will call in with a request. Hey, Bonnie, this is Martha. I need to go to the beauty shop Friday. Could you please round somebody up for me? And Bonnie will say, I will, and I'll get back to you. Well, Bonnie collects all of these requests and sends out an email on Friday. This is the beauty of volunteering for Village Friends. When I get that email on Friday, I might say, oh gosh, I can take Martha to the beauty shop on Friday. I'll be in Opelika anyway. So you respond back to that email and say, Bonnie, I can take Martha on Friday. That'll be great. I'll take that one. And so she assigns Martha to that one. Then later on, those emails just keep getting answered over and over again. And then she sends it back out. If there are a few left over, we still got a few left over if you want to jump on it. So once those emails and the volunteers are signed up, she gets back in touch with our subscribers and says, Martha, Mary's going to come and get you and take you to the beauty shop on Friday. Oh, thank you so much. I'll be looking for her. Then when the volunteer completes the task, it's all done and everything's good, and we wait for the next set of requests for the following week. So those are the steps that we do to ensure that we get our services covered. Growth over the past 3 years has been very good. I'm just going to run through this quickly. In 2016, we did a total of 328 services. Then the next year, look how it jumped, 914, and then in 2018, it continued to grow. Of those, you can see that transportation is our #1 request. In 2018, our services were divided up into these categories. The box that doesn't show up on this for some reason is deliveries. That's 1%. Home maintenance is 2%. Technology is about 2%, and then you've got personal visits, where we just go and visit with you. Transportation is 81%. But if you'll check out that 81% on the transportation and divide it up, okay, well, let me just tell you about this. Shoot, let me go back. On this one right here, there it is, it's like magic, okay. So the transportation is not just medical appointments. We take our subscribers to some of the most wonderful places. We take them to the gym. We take them to water aerobics. There are medical appointments, certainly, but of the transportation trips, only 35% of that's medical. So you're not dealing with sick folks. You're dealing with fun, peppy, energetic people. Ollie events, look at that, 16%, not only to go to an Ollie class, but also to teach their Ollie class. We take folks shopping. We have village events that we take folks to, like supper buddies or, supper club or lunch buddies. And then there are all the other appointments like beauty shop and other things like that. Also, you can see from this that we're much more than a taxi service. When we pull up to that front door, we want to know, is everything okay at the doctor? Did you have a good visit last time? We'll go in with you, with the subscribers, and sit to say, do you need me to share anything with your family? Now, we certainly don't invade anyone's privacy, but it is always good to have a second set of ears on what the doctor's telling you. Here's some other photographs of some social activities that we do to ward off isolation. Supper club and lunch buddies, personal visits, shopping outings. We also offer programs of interest to our members. REACH came and did a wonderful presentation for us, and it was so interesting to hear about what they do and how they use their volunteers. Also, the folks at Health Plus, they came and talked about their senior programs. The last one we did was back in February at the Auburn Chamber on the Yellow Dot program. And if you're not familiar with that, it's run by the Lee County Sheriff's Department. So there are all kinds of things that we offer our members as well as our volunteers. Lots of things happened in 2018. We got a facelift. We got a new logo with a tagline. There was new marketing material created thanks to a marketing guru that Davidson's law firm hired for us. We are so appreciative of their support. And of course, we're always looking to spread the word through publicity. We love to get in the paper. Most of our people that would need our services or want to become a volunteer, those folks are newspaper people, and I can certainly appreciate that. We also love to speak at any organization that'll let us get in front of them, like you guys today, and I so appreciate you all coming out. Any civic or community organization, we want to spread the word so that Village Friends is known to everyone in this community. Now, it's important for me to say this again, the magic of how this whole thing works, how this incredibly progressive concept works, is only possible because of these dedicated volunteers who work here. They are the heartbeat of this organization, and without them, we could not charge $240 for the year to be a member. I talked to a lady today that wants to become one of our members, and she said, well, I would just be so happy to pay you. And I said, no, once you become a member, that's all you pay. That's all you're required to do. And I know she's gonna really enjoy it. We're gonna be a good match for her. But our volunteers are the heart and soul. Let me tell you a little bit, we have gotten some of the most incredible community support. This community, the business owners of this community, they know how important seniors are to this community. Some, like with East Alabama, a lot of what we do is take our members so that they can receive their medical treatment there. We also have a wonderful partner in Synergy when things get beyond what we're able to provide for them. As well as so many other banks that have wanted to show their community support by offering us donations. Our member fees only cover 40% of our income. The other 60% of our income comes from corporate sponsors and individuals. Here's our new office at Oak Park. We're so proud of it. It was generously donated by EAMC, and we're so grateful for an office space. Also, I thought these were some wonderful testimonials. I know this is not supposed to be an eye chart to see how well y'all can read back there. There's a lot of words on this, but thank you, Village Friends, for organizing volunteers and helping senior adults remain in their homes by providing rides to appointments, running errands, delivering needed items, visiting, and organizing social events. Cheers to your staff members, your board, and your volunteers. Darn, that sounds like something I would have written. What a wonderful blessing all of you are, giving of your time. You take wonderful care of my mother-in-law, Addie, and she says all of you are angels. So, the last one, I wanted to just leave you with how you might be able to help. You can certainly become a volunteer. That would be the biggest help you could do for us. Or you could donate or spread the word. You can sign up on Amazon Smile so that a portion of your purchases that you get from Amazon, and it's not going to affect your Amazon Prime. You can just do it on Amazon Smile, and a portion will go to Village Friends. And also, there's a Kroger Rewards that we get a few little pennies back from each month. But the main thing we need right now are volunteers. And so with that, I'm pretty much through with my end. Y'all want to stretch and get a little break for a minute, or just stretch up and we'll let Michael come up here. Does anybody have any questions while we're stretching?
My name is Michael Trainer. I'm happy to see you all here. I'm going to talk to you about technology as it applies to you and how it applies to aging in place. And what I have found is that there are some amazing things out there, and you are going to see a lot of changes coming up. So let's see how important the changes that you've already lived through in technology are going to help you maintain your lifestyle. So we talked about you're the demographic tsunami, and you are growing older, but the priority here, the thing I want to talk about is that you're growing, you're still growing. That's why you're at OLLI, because you're continuing to grow mentally and educationally and all those things. So we want to look at this next stage of our life, not in dealing with the problems of aging, but with pursuing the promise of a longer life. So that's what you're doing when you're continuing to learn. And aging, because aging is like breathing. We start aging the moment we're born and start breathing. So it's just part of life. This demographic is demanding physical, mental, social, and spiritual health and wellness. And old is off in the future. We're not old, we're not retiring, we're reprioritizing. So let's look back. I feel like I know these ladies. I mean, this could be, you know, my grandmother, my great aunt, my great grandmother. I mean, we all, yes, we feel like we know these ladies. But that's not how this generation is, right? We're more like this. We're going, we're moving. We're gonna live a long time. So we're making the best of it. We have a social community, and I don't just mean online. We have a social community, and we want to keep it. So, we're going to have to do some planning. If we're going to keep up this lifestyle, we're going to have to do some planning. So, two things I want to talk to you about today. One is, how have things changed in technology, and how is that going to help us in the future? And then we're going to look at, we like where we are. We like where we live. How are we going to stay there? So we're going to talk about that. There is such a wide age range. The youngest baby boomers are 55. The oldest baby boomers are turning 73. So I may be talking to you as someone who is a caregiver for an older parent. I may be talking to you as someone who wants to stay in their home for 20 more years, and how are they going to do that? So I'm going to switch back and forth a little bit, so you'll just have to keep up. So not that long ago, right? This is in our lifetime. Here's the black and white TV with 3 channels, and the rabbit ears, and the little brownie camera that everybody took around with them. Computers were the size of a room, and the telephone. If I think about it, I can remember the weight of that handset in my hand. Can you remember how heavy those were? So now, our television, our camera, our phone, our computer, we carry in our hand, along with our stereo, our library. So things have changed, and all of this has happened in your lifetime. So what we're finding now is that we have adapted to these changes in technology. We're having fun with it. We know how to take selfies, right? We can talk to our grandchildren and great-grandchildren on FaceTime, so that if we don't get to see them very often, when we do see them, they will know who we are, because we've talked to them face-to-face on FaceTime. We're playing games, we're keeping our minds sharp. These are all the things we've adapted to through technology. So here's the good news. Technology developers, after ignoring us for like the last 10 years, have realized we are a huge market, huge. So they are beginning to develop things specifically for us. And I want to show you some things, and doing research for this talk, I came across some products. I'm not endorsing anything. These are just things that I learned about. I was like, wow, the things that can happen. So hearing aids are not necessarily a new thing, but these hearing aids have Bluetooth. So you can hear music. If you have the Bluetooth, you have the hearing aid, you have the app on your phone, you can listen to music through your hearing aid. If you have a smart television, you can hear what's happening on the television directly through your hearing aid. If you go to a restaurant where it's really loudly and you adjust it using the app on your phone, when you get home, it knows that you're home, so it readjusts the settings to you being at home. It also is going to have fall detection, so that if you are wearing this hearing aid and you fall, your caregiver will be notified so that they can get to you. So it's just remarkable to me. This middle item, in a way, this is going to be a great thing for caregivers, and I'll tell you about it. It's a Medicube So this allows you or your caregiver to load up to 16 medications, and it will dispense up to 16 medications multiple times a day, the correct amount, for up to 90 days. So it's programmable up here. You load the medication in, and there's no plastic cases with flip tops for the next week or 2 or 3 or 4. It will dispense the accurate medication, up to 16 different medications, multiple times a day for up to 90 days. The other thing I'm not talking about today is cost. I don't know. I'm just telling you what's out there for technology. So this item, which, you know, everybody's got a Fitbit. It can tell us how far we go. It can track us with the GPS. This goes a little further. This item also has GPS tracking, which is good. It has what is called geofencing. So if you are the caregiver for someone who has dementia or Alzheimer's and is a threat to wander away, if there is a geofence in place and they are wearing this, then when they cross that geofence, you will be notified as a caregiver. It also has two-way talking so that if they are lost and are in a panic, you can talk with them directly and calm them down until you get to them. I think that's awesome. So, as seniors, we are often intimidated by technology. We're intimidated by computers, even some tablets, our smartphones. Sometimes we struggle with this. They are looking at things now to make them simpler. This is a newly developed tablet. It's by Samsung. It's called a Breezy. We're going to see a short video about it. But if you wanted to talk to this person, you just press on his picture and you can video chat with him. It has your library in it. It's an easy way to send emails and to communicate with other people. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to see this video really quickly so that you can get a sense of what it does.
Go online the easy way, the breezy way.
I think seniors really will relate to it.
Anybody who's on their own, if they had one of these, it's great company.
It's not hard at all.
Breezy takes a top Samsung tablet and adapts it for anyone who's new to technology and the online world.
I really didn't have any interest in it. That's totally changed.
Seniors and others can enjoy all the benefits of being online without the complications.
The Breezy itself makes it so much simpler than a regular computer would be.
Breezy's interface takes you straight to what you want.
I like the Spotify.
And I love Bingo.
I do online banking on mine.
We were having a nice Mother's Day, and I took a picture of the cake with my Breezy.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I sent my grandson an email, and he was so excited. He said, "Mom, where did you learn how to do that?"
Breezy comes complete with a tablet, a case, and online access to the Breezy Family Hub. That lets a family member or trusted friend help you with your Breezy, even when they're somewhere else. Let Breezy put you back in touch with the world.
I just love it. I love that contact with the family.
It expands your world in ways that you never thought possible.
And I don't feel alone in the house anymore, really.
So one of the other videos that goes along with the Breezy shows a class where they're being trained on it, and the woman who was doing the training said, "So do you see this as something you use every day?" And they all were like, "Yes, yes, yes." And one stood up and said, "My husband says you have created a monster." So it's an interesting item, and it's an interesting way that shows how these technology developers are taking our needs into effect. And the other thing that we have found and that they're now realizing is that they don't provide the right training. They don't provide enough training. We go to a phone store, we buy our phone, we spend 10 minutes with the guy, he punches some things, and then he expects us to know what we're doing. And if we don't, we have to call someone, some tech guy, to try to talk us through it. So they're hearing us about that, and they're going to start providing simpler training and more training. So look for that in the future. So, in some of the research I've done, and this was literally came out in a report last month, voice-enabled interactions are going to be preferred for older adults. So, how many of us have a Siri, or if you have a Google phone, you can talk to your phone? Anybody do that? You haven't? All right, so this is something that I'm just beginning to be comfortable with. Say hello, Siri.
Hello, Siri.
Where am I, Siri?
You're at 901 South College Street, Auburn, Alabama.
What's the weather, Siri?
Here's the forecast for today.
84. It's warm out there. So, here is my point with this. Do it, play with it. It's a machine. You're not going to hurt it. You'll get some laughs out of it. A friend of mine told a story the other day. She left her little dog in the car. She's a dog lover, so don't go down the wrong road with this. She left her little dog in the car to run in, left the window down, and said, "Milo, I'll be right back." She had pressed the button on her phone, and it responded, "Okay, I'll wait here." So, I mean, just have fun with it. You can't hurt it. It's a machine. You can't hurt it. Go off, do it on your own so that nobody will laugh at you, and just get comfortable with it, because this is what's coming. And the problem has been, we don't like to press buttons. We don't want to type. We don't want to figure out what button to press because we're afraid we'll press the wrong one. So now we can just say, "Hey Google, what's the weather outside? Hey Google, what's my next appointment?" All right? We're adapting. We're just going to continue to adapt. This is another new term I learned, the Internet of Things, the extension of the Internet connecting to physical devices and everyday things. So, easy examples, the Internet's in our phone, right? The Internet is in our smart TV, if you have a smart TV. The Internet, someone rings your doorbell, you can see who is at your door by looking at your phone. You can raise your garage door. You may not be doing all these things, but all these things are technologically capable right now. You can do them. They're already there. You can adjust the thermostat in your house. You can turn the lights on with your phone. We already have motion sensors to turn on an outdoor light, or if we have a security system, there are already motion sensors in our houses, right? So we're used to that. So now technology developers are taking all of these things and putting it together in one system. So let's look at this as though you are a caregiver. You have, let's say, your mom. She is living at home. She is by herself. You worry every day, what is she doing? Did she get up today? What's going on? With the different Internet of Things that is available, Best Buy has put together a system that includes, everything, the thermostat, the lock, the doorbell, the motion sensors, a bed sensor, windows, the Amazon Echo that you talk to, and smart light bulbs. Your caregiver can see how all these, for example, you check on here at night, you realize your mom has not locked her door, so you can use the app to lock her door. But the best part about this is using the sensors in the home, you can tell This, here is the bedroom. You can tell Mom slept till about 8. Then she got up and went into the kitchen, and she spent some time in the kitchen throughout the day. So you feel like, you know what, she probably ate. She went outside a little bit. You can probably tell that, the doors opening and closing. Spent a little bit of time in the living room, and then about 10 o'clock, she went back to bed. So you don't have to wonder all day, what did Mom do? You don't have to necessarily call a couple of times a day or at the end of the day and say, Mom, did you eat? You know, what did you eat today? Because you know she spent some time in the kitchen. So the stress relief for this is huge. If you are not in the place where you're caring for an older parent right now, think about this in a few years when your children are going to want to know that you're okay. If you've already got a security system, some motion sensors, and I'm not talking about cameras. I would not be comfortable with cameras in my house everywhere where my children could watch me. That's not a good thing. But motion sensors are okay. It's like when we were young and we had baby monitors for our kids, we could hear in the next room. Similar to that, we just know when there's activity in the house. So, to wrap up this technology piece, this is where we are right now. We're independent. We've got our alarm system. We've got internet access in our home, okay? We move a little more to our personal status. We're texting, we're doing videos, we're doing the voice first, which is the Siri. We're learning to Skype and do FaceTime, and we have our smartphones. Personal safety, the sensors I talked about, the smart home, which is all those things they used in the technology system. A mobile PERS. PERS means Personal Emergency Reporting System. So this has come a long way from I've fallen and I can't get up, right? It's in your hearing aid, or it's in your phone, or it's in this system that is following you. But it is a way to notify caregivers that you might need help. Our personal health is going to become more engaged with technology. Reminders, the dispenser we talk about, the hearables, but then healthcare and health insurance and technology are beginning to partner so that you will be using telehealth, which means in your care coordination, rather than going to the doctor's office, you might be FaceTiming with your care group and your caregiver. So keep that in mind, your personal medical status. So do you have an idea of where we are and what's in the near future for technology for seniors? Yes? Okay. So the next question we want to look at is, okay, we like where we are, we want to stay here, how are we going to do that? And there are 4 areas we need to focus on, so I want you to shift gears now into your home. We're going to need an entryway with no steps. A kitchen, we're going to focus on that, the kitchen, the bathroom, the steps and stairways. These are the critical areas that allow you to stay in your home. So here is the ideal. This floor plan is very simple and has all the ideal things that we need. There's a no-step entry here, and there's one in the garage. You need at least one in your house. Doesn't have to be all, but you do need at least one. We have open walkways, not a lot of clutter. We have a 5-foot clearance in the kitchen and in several other places in the house. Do you know why? Wheelchair accessibility. You may never need it, but somebody might. So if you're going to be an accessible house, you need to think about the clearance in spaces like the kitchen. They have it here in the utility washer and dryer room. They have it in the master bedroom. That's important. They have it in the closet, and then it's important in this wet area of your bathroom as well. that 5-foot area. But here's what I want to do. I want you to focus on long-term, attractive ideas for your home that even if you don't need this for 10 or 15 or 20 years, you won't mind living with it for 10 or 15 years. It's going to be attractive. So let's look at the entry of your house. Clearly, these houses had steps, right? So they have graded the yard. They have put in a concrete walkway. They have landscaped around it. It looks lovely. It adds to the appearance of the house. It was done with intention, and it could be there for 10 years and never have to be used. But keep in mind, it doesn't necessarily have to be just for someone in a wheelchair or a walker. This could be for the grandkids in the stroller. So just do it while you have time to plan it, and when you don't have to make the decision because of a crisis. Here are a couple of other examples. You know, you can have a good-looking wooden walkway into your house. I thought this was particularly unique to come up on this end of the porch rather than try to do a walkway that would have to take in all these stairs and come around. So point being here, really can use your imagination to come up with some great solutions. I would caution you, if you put in a walkway to use a professional to do this or a ramp, because there's a very specific angle that you have to use when you're going to be wheeling someone or they are going to be wheeling themselves. Sometimes non-professionals with the best heart come in and put in a ramp that is too steep, and the wheelchair is tough to even push a wheelchair, much less have a person wheel themselves. So just make sure that the person who puts your ramp in knows what they're doing. All right, kitchen renovations. So AARP says we can spend about $15,000. I mean, it can go up and it can go down. A lot of it depends on what finishes you like and the size of your kitchen. But this kitchen has they've opened up the cabinet here so that a wheelchair can roll under. They've got a good space here. They've raised the height on the dishwasher. So either you're in the wheelchair and loading the dishwasher from this lowered sink that's also shallow, or you're standing there and you don't have to bend over so far to load your dishwasher. That's important too. So have you heard of universal design? Okay, universal design is all-encompassing. Accessible design we think about as handicap accessible and wheelchairs. Universal design is so that anyone of any size and any capability can use a home in however they need to. So this shows some examples of universal design, and this is a roll-up counter for sure, but this can also be where your grandkids come up and use the low sink, and you're using the high sink. So universal design uses varying counter heights. This cabinet pulls down and goes back up. So that's kind of a neat thing because we tend to get shorter, right, as we get older. So we may need those cabinets to come down a little bit. This is a high-end kitchen. Some other universal design items, this cabinet opens up. This is where the whole cabinet doesn't have to come down, just the shelves come down. So again, point being, there are so many options out there in every price point. You can do this, you just need to give some thought to it. And then again, raised dishwasher, different counter heights, lots of space here. So we're gonna move on now from the kitchen to the bathroom. So, average on a bathroom is about $9,000. That's mid-range finishes. Your priorities are gonna be a walk or roll-in shower, comfort height toilet, non-slip flooring, wide doors, and grab bars with substantial backing. If you put a grab bar on a wall that's just sheetrock, it's very dangerous. You can't do that. So here's a bathroom that I think everybody has one like this in their house, right? Let's pretend this is your guest bathroom for a downstairs guest bedroom, okay? Downstairs. So here is the before picture, and here is the after picture, same bathroom. So they've taken out the tub, they've changed the toilet to a comfort height toilet, they have added different height showers, they've added the bars here, they've changed out this cabinet probably for a pedestal sink over here, and then I'm not sure if you can see it, but this actually slopes down a little bit so that the grade is correct for the water to drain out. And there is just the end of a shower curtain here, so you can close this off if you choose to for privacy. But, you know, the difference between this bathroom and this bathroom, and you could do this now, and it's beautiful, and you could live with this as your master bath and not need this kind of accessibility for 10 or 15 years. That's that again without the before. So the next bathroom, also tight. So here's the after. This one is a little less cosmetically pleasing, but still very functional. They actually flipped this around a good bit. The sink had been directly across from the toilet. They moved it. They shifted everything, really. And they ended up without a wall for a grab bar next to the toilet. So they have added this bar, which is secured into the wall, but will flip up out of the way when you don't need it. Roll under sink, and they've widened the entry door and put in a pocket door. Again, point being, there's so many different options and different things you can think of out there to do. But keep in mind, if you do it in advance, your master bathroom does not have to look like a hospital room. You don't have to have this kind of a grab bar. You can play with it. You can do colors. You can do something very modern. You can do something more traditional. There are thousands of options so that you're making it attractive to you for the long term. So let's say you're in a situation where there is nowhere on the lower floor for you to make a master bedroom and bathroom. It's just not going to happen. So then what are you going to do? There are a couple of options. A stair lift certainly will work. It's a short-term fix. This is not something you're going to put in advance, obviously, just when you need it, and it'll probably come back out when you choose to leave the house. This is not something that's going to add value to your house. An elevator might add value to your house. If you have a closet on your downstairs level and on your second floor, you have another closet immediately above it, you might have an option for an elevator. It's at least something you can look at. I don't think that this elevator was original to this house. I think they found some space downstairs. They found some space on this in this landing and put one in. This could potentially add value to your house, certainly not going to detract. So we're looking at all these things and you're like, oh my gosh, these are big projects, you know, so what can I do today? What can I do today? On your way out, I want the guys, I'm not quite done yet, Jim. On the way, I'll give you the signal. When you're on the way out, if you'll pick up a home fit guide, you can take it home, evaluate your home. Some are easy, some are you know, you'll just have to look at it. Don't let it overwhelm you. AARP sent these through. It's a great resource for you. But in the meantime, to make some really easy low-cost changes, use this, not that. This, you're walking in the door, you've got all your groceries loaded up, you can hit it with your elbow and the light comes on. It's just a more functional, universally designed product. Use this, not that. You'll notice almost all public spaces have gone to these because you can push down on it with your elbow and get in and out. And as we age, if our hands become arthritic, sometimes it is difficult to turn a doorknob. So just keep that in mind. And these are things you can change out now. Use this, not that. Same thing. You can touch it with your elbow, with your palm of your hand, and not have to turn. Use this, not that. D-shaped cabinet pulls and lighting. I mean, we're wearing our readers already, but we also need more light. Open the windows. Get some direct lighting on wherever you're doing your reading. Put lighting on the stairs. That's incredibly important. Lighting in the hallway. Open the windows. Pull back the blinds. And if you're going to do some changes in your kitchen, put in as much lighting as you can. Overhead lighting, task lighting under the cabinets, very important. So, one more little thing. If you're close to having a no-step entry, there are some things that you can use to make it very easily wheelchair accessible. These little ramps are easy to find, they're not expensive, and you can probably install them yourselves. So, the final words now, based on our earlier conversation about technology. If you're going to do some of these things, if you're going to do some renovations in your home, the final word is get wired, because that's coming, you're gonna need it. And even more important, the thing that's gonna be even better than being wired is the Wi-Fi. And you don't have to know how to do it. You don't even have to understand it. You just have to know somebody who does. You have to know who to call to get Wi-Fi in there and make yourself completely safe and make your home completely accessible using the technology and the things we've talked about. Questions? Yeah, I learned a lot preparing for this. Yes.
I came in a minute late, so I may have missed this, but on that first part of the village, and it started off talking about staying in your home.
Right.
And then talking about the village, but you don't live in a village if your home is outside the village, right?
Okay, so for Village Friends, our village is Auburn and Opelika. We come to you, we come to your home and pick you up and take you where you need to be and then take you back home. It's not right. We're not like a neighborhood somewhere, a planned community.
Are some of them like that? Are some of them planned community?
I don't know that there are any here in Auburn that include the kind of services that Village Friends does. Right.
It's just there is national helpful network, but I don't know of any. There may be. I don't know of any that are kind of planned community.
I know that places like Magnolia House, is that right? They have a bus and they can take residents, to different places. You're kind of at the mercy of the bus coming and going. So the advantage of Village Friends is we come when it works for you and also when it works for the volunteers. So, so far it's working actually beautifully.
How do you get to volunteer?
You just let us know. There is, the book is a separate thing. If you go to our website, we have some documents that have to be completed, or we can mail the documents to you, or you can pick some up at our office, because we do require that our volunteers have a background check, because we think that our members that we are servicing need to know that our volunteers have a background check so that they feel secure with someone getting in someone's car. And we need to know that too for our own liability. So Martha will be happy to talk to you about, you know, the best way to get some paperwork done. And then we have a training. There actually was a training session today, this morning, I think about 10 o'clock, where new volunteers were trained who are going to be working for us. But we always need more volunteers.
And it's not a long-term training.
Oh, no, it's a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And I had one other question.
Yes.
When I first came in, there were some things like Amazon, something over here, and there was Kroger over here.
Oh, right.
And somebody mentioned a V. What does that mean? That you enter a V and somebody gets credit or something.
Well, the way those two things work, Amazon Smile, if you go to amazon.smile on the website and you search for Village Friends, then it will find it. And then whatever purchases you make, we'll give Village Friends a small donation, a small percentage of that sale. And then Kroger, we have a particular number. Our nonprofit has a particular number, and you can go into Kroger and put our number in, and then whenever you shop at Kroger, we get a small donation at that time too. Okay. So those are awesome. What else? All right, so if you didn't sign the sign-up sheet, please do that. And then now, Jim, as people leave, if you would give them the handout so they can go home and evaluate their home, that would be great. Anything else? Thank you.